Levels is good. 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 Levels is level. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is levels. Levels is good. 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 Yo, pretty pet. Levels is good. 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 Levels good. Levels good. Levels good. Levels good. DG show. Everything is gonna be alright tonight. Yo, talking about making a sex tape. No other. Would you do it? Have you done it? Would you do it again? No freak stuff. I'm only asking, do you think you can trust him to the end? Yo, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, sometimes you let go too fast. Yo, sex tape, you gonna have to show yo. Gary, right? All right, messing up. Let's get it right. Yeah. Talk to the cat. Yeah. She like, look, that's too much noise. That's too much noise. 1 o'clock in the morning, it's all good. Urban Therapy with Sun 752. And this your daily. It's the Daily Go-Getter-mism show. You think it ain't when it is. You think it won't when it is. We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing. Thinking all fast lane, no coasting. And everything is gonna be all right. We talking about, would you trust him enough to make a sex tape tonight? Trust him enough, or should I say trust enough to make a sex tape? Now, I'm really not on no freaky type stuff, and I don't want to get into your business. But when you really think about things on a personal level, I'm not sure if you can afford trusting somebody more than making a sex tape either with them or for them. Now, you might ask, like, well, what do you mean make a sex tape for them? Like have sex with somebody? No. But if you record yourself naked, maybe playing with yourself, masturbating, or just doing sexy stuff, in a sexually explicit way. I'm talking about like with no clothes on or whatever. You have to trust somebody enough to keep that private between the two of you, and to never, go behind your back and reveal that tape when times get rough between the two of you. Like, you don't want to be with me no more, or you made me mad. Well, I guess everybody's going to see this tape. They'll see the real you, who you really are, stripped down. So it takes a lot of trust to make a sex tape with somebody or make a sex tape for somebody. And not only that, on an even deeper personal level, in order to make a sex tape with somebody, you have to be comfortable in your own skin enough to be able to make the tape and perform. And you also have to be trusting enough of them to be able to let go and make the tape worth watching by the two of you anyway, in the first place. So there's a lot that goes into trying to make a sex tape with somebody. And I understand, some people who might not do it. Like, nah, I ain't doing it. Nah, I ain't doing it. Especially doing it with their phone. Like, do you trust somebody enough to take their phone and make a sex tape? Like, it's like recording a record, a tape, or a CD, and giving somebody else your masters, so they can sell or publish or do whatever they want to, because they hold the masters, the original copy. So yeah, trust enough to make a sex tape. Trust enough to make a sex tape. That's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go-Getter-mism show. So this is what I need y'all to do. This is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to hit the like button, number one. I need y'all to come on in here like y'all did last night. We was talking about the war and politics like y'all already do. But I mean, look, we're gonna get into this stuff. We're going to get into this topic, and I think it's a deep topic, and many of you may think that it's deep too, but it's going down. So that's how it's going down on the Daily Go-Getter-mism show. Trust enough to make a sex tape. I say what? Trust enough to make a sex tape. Have you done it? So many people have done it and regretted it. Many people have done it and lived to regret it. This might be one of those topics where people don't really want to talk about it. They may have done it, but they're like, you think about like, your naked image doing the nasty out there in the world. You was out there doing the nasty. Ooh, you was doing it, and there's a tape of it where people can see. So some of y'all freaky. Some of y'all freaky folks out there probably made multiple sex tapes out there. Y'all don't show no shame. Y'all don't show no shame. There's no inhibition. And it's amazing that some people can do that. But I'll tell you this. Making a sex tape with somebody is one thing. Making a sex tape with just anybody is another thing. You know? Like, so you mean to tell me that anybody who has sex with you can just, break out the tape and start recording, huh? And you ain't got nothing to say about that? Say what? Hey, man. Hey, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But we're going to get into this tonight. Yo. So, like I said, man, hit that like button. Let's get this conversation started. It's on. Trusting enough to make a sex tape. I'm gonna go ahead and put my drums away. Ba-ra-pa-bum-bum. 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 Everybody all right? You good? You good? I'm good. Yeah, like I said, trust enough to make a sex tape. Have you done it? Some people will say that I would only make a sex tape with my spouse. Reasonable to me. Sounds reasonable to me. Like, yeah, I'm not just gonna put my sexual image out there and my sexual activity out there for just anybody. You know how some women say, yeah, I wouldn't just cook and clean for just anybody. Those are wifely duties. So if you don't put a rock on my hand, if you don't seal the deal, if you don't make that move, then no. Well, I could understand, but no, I can't understand not feeding your man or anything like that. But I understand to a certain degree what they're saying. They don't want to. They're making sure that they don't overstep the bounds of the why would he buy the cow when he's getting the milk for free type of theory. I get it. I totally get it. Do I accept it? No. But do I get it? Mm-hmm. I get it. I totally get it. Now, but making a sex tape, I could understand if a woman would say, well, no, I wouldn't make a sex tape with just a boyfriend. You know, we break up. You don't know what evil people might get into after a breakup or during a break or bad times or when they're angry or whatever. Well, I think that you should know a person enough to know if you can trust them with your private information before you even think about making a sex tape with them. You know what I mean? But I could understand if you would say, well, no, I would only make a sex tape with my husband. I understand a woman with, I'm saying that. I don't think that's a bad way to be. Yeah, I might cook for my boyfriend, but I ain't making no sex tape with him. But I can also understand even if, okay, let me just say this. I heard a strange noise upstairs, and I'm not feeling that at all. I will be back. Hold on. What was that? You spilled something? Okay. 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 I guess everything is okay. Sorry about the little delay, but I don't play when it comes to security. I just realized that when I came to the crib, I never went upstairs. Maybe I've watched too many horror movies in my day, but you just never know when somebody might be up in your room waiting for you. And I don't mean that in no good way, but everything cool. So, yeah, I could understand a woman preserving herself like on some old, I'm not making us, hold on a second. Caller with the last number 0218. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. What's on your mind tonight?
What's up? What's up? I just figured I'd step in and contribute to your live a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
I think I don't think the sex tape. I'm thinking about the poll you got up there. I think that probably the darkest secrets, sharing that with them would be like the ultimate level of trust in them. Because I feel like you can get out of just about any of the other stuff, except maybe the sex tape. But I mean, it depends. I guess that would depend on what your skeletons are, you know. But it's definitely a toss-up probably between them two.
Okay, but all right. Well, check this out. Like, you think that out of the poll questions you could get out all? What about co-signing a loan? That's not easy to get out of.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. You know, I just think about that a little different because I don't really believe in using credit. I know that sounds weird, but
no, that's not weird. It's safe.
Yeah. I think that using credit, I mean, you're kind of prolonging everything that you want in the long run. See, in my head, if you prolong what you want and put it off just in the short term, and save your money and buy whatever it is, then you never have to worry about paying the debt and the interest, and you can kind of snowball your money. But I know a lot of people can't even do that. But you gotta teach the kids and start them young so that they don't even go into debt and get their first car, you know. Things like that to get out of that, but I didn't even consider the loan part, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, because when you co-sign a loan for somebody, they're supposed to pay back the loan. So if they don't pay it back, then you have to pay it back. So let's say, and it goes on both of your credit reports. And the only reason that they needed to get you to co-sign their loan in the first place is because their credit wasn't good enough to secure the loan on their own. So they're probably not worried about their credit being messed up because it already was. But yours is at stake. So, you know, co-signing a loan for somebody is not a small thing when you consider that somewhere down the line, depending on where your position is in life, you may not have bought a house or maybe even a car yet. You know what I mean? But there may come a time when that's what you're going to do. And then you could risk not being in a financial position to do those things because this person has taken out a loan and reduce your credit score, so it can make you harder. It can make it harder for you to get a low interest rate, you know, on a loan if they didn't totally obliterate your credit. You know, it's not a small thing.
Yeah.
So.
But you know, I look at it like that ain't. I mean, credit score and everything is a big deal to probably most people. But I don't think it hurts your image, your real image, like to family, people you know, like
right,
everybody around you.
No, you're right. Really, you're right about that.
You know, either a sex tape getting leaked or the skeletons that you share with somebody, and then they leak it to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I feel like them two things, man, they just top the chart.
No, I can understand that, and you're right, because there are social implications that are at stake when you talk about putting out a sex tape, and not just the social part of it. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. You have to be comfortable with even though, we're men, and it's supposed to be a thing where we can just pull out our dick and show the whole world. But not every man is comfortable like that. You know what I mean? Not every man is comfortable with that.
I'm not cool with
it. Well, you understand what I'm saying. We expect women to be a little more reserved when it comes to that. We expect them to protect themselves. I mean, they are brought up to be more to preserve their bodies and their image, and to not be loose, and not just let it all go. Right. So I could understand a woman, having reservations about making a sex tape with a man, but we've probably all known women who didn't seem to give a shit. They'll make a sex tape, they'll do a porno movie, they'll do prostitution, they'll do anything. You know what I mean? But that's a different type of. I don't think what they're doing has anything to do with trust. A lot of times it has more to do with low self-esteem or drug abuse, and things like that.
Yeah, excitement.
Mm-hmm. But when we talk about making a sex tape, there is trust when it comes to that. There's definitely a trust factor that goes into it, because you never know what you may want to do in life and how that could affect it. Like you may not think about being president of the United States or anything like that. Unfortunately, the bar, the social implications bar has been lowered for becoming president these days. Thanks to 45 and 47. You know what I mean? But you never know. Because questions that don't get asked don't have to get answered. So you don't want to have to deal with questions about your sexual past, but a sex tape will get it right there. Look at a lot of these politicians, a lot of these let's just say a lot of people in general have had to bite the bullet because of some sexual shit or some drug abuse shit or some crazy thing that they did in their younger years that they never thought would come back to bite them in the ass, and it did just that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it would definitely affect your ability to become a public figure.
It can definitely, unless you want to be a public figure in your sexuality, because we have those too. You know what I mean? But who knows? Even with the people who take their clothes off for a living, what happens when they want to do something different in life? For example, Luther Campbell, when he was running around with 2 Live Crew and owning Luke Skywalker records and inventing this whole freak shit and hip hop and all of that shit, I don't think he was thinking that, one day I might want to go into politics. I don't think he was thinking that way. You know what I mean? He may not have even been thinking that he was going to survive the era that he was living in. So he may have been thinking that he would just live his life to the fullest. I don't think he thought that he would be an influential positive figure one day, working with the kids, with the football teams and stuff. I don't think he was thinking that far. But surviving death, surviving hurt and pain and ridicule will do those things to you. Like, oh shit. It's funny how sometimes just making it through something makes us want to do better. It's not always when something bad happens to us. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So what would you say to a woman who would say, well, I would only make a sex tape with my husband?
I would actually say that makes her more attractive.
Okay.
I would say that if she didn't feel that way, maybe she ain't my type of lady. But I'm pretty old fashioned. even though I'm only 30, I was raised by my grandpa, so you know I'm pretty what you call it? I'm an old head.
No, I understand. You got the old head thinking. I ain't mad at that. As a matter of fact, I think that's a good way to be. Now, the thing is, I wouldn't have a problem with a woman saying that, yeah, I would only make a sex tape with my husband as well. The only thing is, can you always trust your spouse?
Well, I'd say probably not.
Yeah.
You just, I don't know.
Yeah. You can do the right thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I got to talking about something with another buddy of mine the other day, because he was saying that he wanted a woman and like a relationship, and but then he followed that up with how quickly he can sleep with each woman, and you know how he does a good job in the bed and everything, and makes them go crazy. And I know this is off topic, but to me, man, that is a recipe for failure. If you sleep with them early and you do a good job, to me, that's breeding a sort of distrust inside of her, like, because she will always worry, especially if you give her any little speck of reason, but she will always worry that you have that level of confidence inside to go and just have a one-nighter or whatever, or, you know. But I believe that if you're doing that, your woman will have more doubts than pleasure from the orgasm or whatever. I think it's best to, you know, maybe go on a few dates first or something, or let her feel like you ain't there for just that, and then if it's a valuable woman, then she'll see that and already have a little bit, and just somebody that's quick.
No, I can understand that. See it. All right. So that works both ways, because, like, what do you do if you met a woman and the first time y'all had sex, however long it took for y'all to have sex for the first time, she totally blew your mind? And what if she did that literally? Like, let's say the first time y'all had sex, or the first time she went down on you, you know, she went all superhead on you, like nothing you ever experienced before. You know, would that make you look at her? Would that make you look at her differently? Would that make you look at her like, yo, this is definitely not beginner's luck here?
I would say
all open for sure. You know, I think it'd be inevitable. I think it'd be hard not to you know, get to wondering how she got that way, or how much does she like this? Will she get bored of pleasing me? Because I ain't gonna be pleased with. I mean, I'll always be pleased with the good job, but I'm not gonna act like I acted the first time or the second time with it, and that may be something that she wants to see again in 5 years or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think deep.
Well, see, that's what I was trying to get to with that is, okay, so she got it right the first time. Depending on the kind of man you are, if we're not talking about you specifically, but depending on the kind of man that you are, you know, some men might be offended that she got it right so fast. You know, because he might think like, the only way you could have done this, you know, the only way you could have gotten this so right this way was to have tried it so many times, because this is unbelievable. Yeah. And, you know, so now he has the goose that lays the golden egg, but now he's he's indicting the goose. Like, the fuck you been, goose? You know what I mean? Like, we got to give this goose a deposition. I need to know exactly where you learn to lay these eggs.
Yeah, you got to go. I mean, it does go both ways like that.
That's what I'm saying. So when we start talking about trust, there's a lot here. There's a lot to unpack. You know what I mean? So, you know, talking about trusting somebody enough to make a sex tape is one thing. But you're also talking about the trust that you need to be able to feel to let yourself go in order to make the tape, to give somebody your body. And you may even be thinking down the line about the trust that the other areas of trust that you may have to enter in order just to get to this sex tape thing. Like, all right, so if you look at the poll question, it says, is making a sex tape with someone the highest level of trust that one can show? Or if not, what is? Now, one of these answers is having kids with them. I'm thinking that you should definitely trust somebody wholeheartedly in order to have kids with them. But not every from the evidence that I see, yeah, that shit just happens with a lot of people. It ain't, not with everybody is it a big deal. But
yeah, look at Genghis Khan. He had babies all over the place.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Genghis Khan ever had to pay child support and, you know what I mean, spend time with the kids and all of that kind of shit. You understand what I mean? So, having a baby with somebody is, having sex with somebody is one thing. Having sex unprotected with somebody is another thing. Having unprotected sex with somebody enough in order to go to conception, to, gestation, to all the way, the birth, and then, raising the child and all of that you would think that would take a high level of trust. But some people would say, no, the sex tape is a little bit deeper. They might say, a lot of single mothers are out here doing this, so it don't take a whole lot of trust to have children with somebody. But somebody might say, yeah, but I wouldn't want my kids to see that sex tape. They can see the person that I had them with. They can see their father, but I wouldn't want them to see that sex tape. You understand what? So it's a little bit deeper than it might look like on the surface. But when you start talking about the levels of trust and how far it can go or what it has the potential to do, it's not. There's more sugar in this tea. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of caffeine up in there. So yeah. Let me see. If I was making this poll, I don't know. Even though I made all of the choices, I think that they all require a lot of thought. Like I see the choice that's leading is telling your darkest secrets and fears. For some people, yeah, that takes hella trust. But I'm not so sure if I think that takes more trust than giving somebody your full heart. Because that can affect the way that you carry on relationships for the future.
Yep, I think it just depends on who you are and what you've been through, because I think two of those scenarios are more of a financial burden, and the other two are more of a social type of a burden. And so it would depend on where you at with it. Like if you're an introvert and you don't care what nobody thinks, then maybe the financial side would be the one you worry about. Or if you're like a go-getter type of person and you've already set yourself up kind of financially, then maybe the social will bother you more. And to me personally, I got I got some skeletons that I don't know. Actually, I know I will go to the grave with mine.
Will you?
I know. I've already had a baby and got a girlfriend in the house sleeping. I just got off work, but she's in there sleeping. I plan on marrying her and everything. But man, there's just some skeletons that I think I'm gonna take to the grave with me, and that would be my biggest thing.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't even think I could trust anybody with it.
Well, yeah. Like, let's say, not you particularly, but let's say you killed somebody and got away with it. You know what I mean? Cold case,
Yeah.
no suspects, no leads or anything like that. And the only way that anybody is ever going to know, to your knowledge, because you never know with these cases, these cold cases, people be going, it just takes one detective to go back in the files and find some shit that nobody else was looking at. But anyway, let's say the only way that they're going to know for now is if you tell somebody and you tell somebody. And now here you are, you know what I mean? In court, staring down the barrel of a potential life sentence or something like that, all because you decided to trust somebody that wasn't worthy of your trust. This shit happens. The shit happens. And it happens to many people. So you really have to, take stock in and be careful of who you trust out here. But whatever is really personal to you that makes you or gives you the ability to trust or not, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be different for different people. It's going to play out differently for different people. So yeah, I don't know. I think I trust pretty easily. That doesn't necessarily mean that I give up everything easily. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with my trust, but I think my philosophy on trust is that you have to give it even if you don't want to. And you also have to withhold it even though you may not want to. You understand what I mean? So I don't live my life believing that I can't trust people. But there's just some things that you may not think that is a good idea to reveal to people. Like I don't need you to trust me with that because you ain't gonna get that. It's not, and it may not be a secret, but something can be personal or private. Just not a secret. Other people may know, but do the people who know you know? Like if something happened back in the day, and it may be something that really got to you or something that really penetrated your heart or your feelings or whatever, your shell, your core. And you've been dealing with it for a long time. So people who have met you in the last 10 years, they may not know anything about that. It's a private thing. It's not a secret thing because people who were involved with you back when it happened, they know about it. It's just that these new people don't know about it. And you may be totally comfortable with that. Like, nah, I don't. The new people ain't gonna know about this from me. Now, if they meet some people that knew about it back then or were there, that's on them. I'll deal with that when that time comes. But yeah,
It'd be a hell of a situation to be in.
Mm-hmm. And that situation presents itself often enough. It presents itself. So you never know. You just never really know who you can trust because even though people give clues about their trustworthiness or whatever, we don't always pick up on the clues, or sometimes I don't think that we believe them. Sometimes the person that tries to prove their trust to us the most may be the one we become suspicious of. And sometimes the person who doesn't seem to care about whether we trust them or not, sometimes they may be the ones that we give all of our trust to. Because, it could be the case where since they're not begging to be trusted or whatever, maybe we think that maybe they know how to hold water. Maybe they can actually be trusted with information. Maybe. How will we know? This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe they're just a little bit smarter than you think. And know how to play the game a little bit.
Well, when you're dealing with a blabbermouth, whether it's you or somebody else, you're dealing with a blabbermouth. You don't have to do a whole lot of probing. They can't hold water. They're just going to eventually tell you everything that you wanted to know and plenty of things that you didn't want to know. But when we talk about making a sex tape, I think that requires a certain level of trust. It does, because you could be talking about your reputation in the future and whether it was a good tape.
Yeah, I mean, you will be judged on it one way or the other.
It's a bad tape when only you and the other person you made the tape with have seen it, and I think we need to make another tape or at least destroy this one.
Get a redo.
Let's say if you're a man with premature ejaculation, you know what I mean? This ain't no sex tape. This is a sex reel. It's one of the shorts on YouTube. This shit ain't fit.
YouTube short.
Say you press record, and by the time you got on camera, it was almost over.
The old pump and dump.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And that would require some trust, because the person that you made it with, you got to trust them not to tease you or ridicule you or put you there. All of this shit, all of this hoopla you made about this goddamn sex tape. And you fucked up the recording. This is not quality tape. Here you are, busting off early in HD. 4K.
That would be man, that'd be detrimental, especially if she had that type of attitude about it too.
Hey,
oh, man.
And men aren't the only ones that can goof up a sex tape. Women can goof it up too, being nervous. You know what I'm saying? If she does have trust issues dealing with you, it can affect her ability to get wet. So that's going to affect the quality of the sex tape, because if she can't really get wet, then you may see a cameraman. A cameraman can.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say a cameraman can switch the angles and all of this kind of stuff. When you're making a sex tape in your home, the camera is stationary, whether you're using your phone or whether you're using an actual video camera or whatever, but it's going to be stationary. So you're going to have to be where you can get the shot. You're going to have to be in the shot. So if she's not ready enough and she's so nervous about making the tape that she can't get ready, so you could pause the tape and do whatever is necessary. Like there may be things that you want on the video that things that you don't want in the video. Like let's say if she wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining. I was imagining like how a woman might screw it up would be like, maybe if you didn't really talk about maybe the script or nothing, then you may run into a spot where she ain't ready for this position or that or whatever, and then when she said no, that's a bump in the road there,
Yeah, well, when a man is nervous or can't perform, when a man can't have sex if his dick don't get hard. Let me just put it that way. A woman can have sex even if she doesn't get wet, but it's going to hurt. And it's not going to be fun for the man either, because he's going to get hurt too eventually. Like, nobody's going to really have any fun. If she ain't having fun, he ain't going to have but so much fun. He'll get his shit off. But there is a certain, I'm sure I don't have to tell you this, there are degrees of nuts. It's just it's the masturbation and, you know what I mean, relief nut to like, all right, got that over with. And then there's the, oh my God, put a ring on this bitch. Each finger. Pick one. But so yeah. It's not, this is an equal opportunity. There are equal opportunities to screw this thing up. So trust has to be there in order to get this thing off. It's not as easy or as freaky as it may sound. Just because it's between the two of you. Let's say you're dealing with somebody that you may love them, but you may not trust them all the way, or you might not be comfortable with them all the way. So making that sex tape may be hard for you. It may be a hard decision for you because you don't trust them to keep it just between the two of you, or you don't trust them to not body shame you, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so hold on. So you was just calling her a fat cow, and now you want to make a sex tape. Yeah, that's going to go well. You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, I don't know.
You know, there's a million different ways to look at it.
So, you know, yeah, trusting them enough to make a sex tape can be a big deal. And it can definitely be a botched deal. This thing could go south quickly. Very, very quickly. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Have you had one go south?
Me make a sex tape? I would never.
I don't think I've ever had any issues. I mean, like, I wouldn't say with every girl I've been with, which ain't that many, you know, like I said, I'm old, so I might have been with somewhere around 15 women or something. Not that many, I don't think. But I probably got tapes of
15. You got 15 tapes?
I just ain't never really thought too much about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good when your inhibitions aren't getting in the way. But you just never know. You know what I mean? You never know. Like, there may have been 1 out of the 15 that, or let's say 3 out of the 15 that you were totally comfortable with making the tape, and maybe those were the best tapes, and maybe the other 75% was like, or should I say, other 80%? It was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? You just never know. You just never know. But I think it takes some trust in order to make a sex. You should. Making a sex tape with somebody should be something that you put a lot of thought into beforehand. That shit shouldn't jump off like, let's make a tape real quick. Like, what the fuck you think this is? You know what I mean? Karaoke? This is sexy-okie. Yeah, just get on the mic. We gonna make this tape and shit. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've watched porn, but I don't be remembering a lot of names. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people who watch porn, they know every name that's on that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll recognize faces, but I don't always read the credits.
I know some guys like that.
Plenty. Of course, I've known people that were like addicted to porn. That can be dangerous.
Just over there abusing that thing. But anyway, I just figured I'd come on and put my 2 cents in.
Well, I appreciate that. I do.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yeah, thanks. It's always a good time with you, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, brother.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
All right. Good call. Good call. Good call. I don't know. It's like people scared of this topic tonight. Like, it's like you talk about the war. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Jason asked, is it ethical to keep the tape once you and the other participant part ways? This is why it's important for you to decide whose copy is it. I think both people should have a copy. But if you really think about it, since we're talking about trust, it may be a situation where only one person can be trusted to have the copy. Like the person who suggested that you make the tape may not be the best person to hold the masters. Like, nah, you can't get the master copy. Maybe you should have to come to me every time you want to see it. But that shows that wasn't the person you should have made the tape with. Because that shows that you can't trust the person. Can't trust them. Can't trust it. Like your ass is out. I remember, man. Yeah, I done had some adventures. There was this one time, this chick recorded me without my knowledge. And and she got mad at me, and her dumb ass told me that she recorded me. Now, she was lying about part of it. She had surveillance cameras all around her place. So she did indeed have a copy of us having sex. However, she didn't have a full legible, it wasn't a good copy. It wasn't good because it was surveillance cameras. It wasn't like there was no audio. There was only a small clip. But, she got mad at me and, this chick was crazy and off the hook and all of that kind of shit. And so she was telling me, yeah, I got this tape and I'm about to fuck your whole life up with it. And what'd she say? And I'm going to put a man on it so that everybody going to think you gay and all of this shit. And I was like, oh, I know what I did. Release the Epstein files. I was like, release the files. After she calmed down and got off of her fucking hysterical tirade, she actually sent me the tape. And it was like, she was like, I was just saying that because I was mad and blah, blah, blah. I would never do that to you. Oh, I would never do that to you. So when I saw the tape, I was like, this is all you got? It wasn't long at all. I don't even know if it was 10 seconds. I don't know if it was 10 seconds. Let this crazy motherfucker tell it. Yeah, every time I watch that tape, it just be having me so hot. You should come over. I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't fuck with that bitch no more. I said no. You are, I don't mess around with nobody that plays around with my trust. I ain't the one. Because I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, if you put the tape out, I wasn't even paying attention to none of that other shit she was saying about, I'm going to put the different face on it. I'm like, look, man, everybody know. You couldn't. You could try to put me out there as having a different sexual orientation all you want. Ain't nobody gonna believe none of that shit. You couldn't produce nobody in my history that would co-sign that. Like, shit. The fuck. So I wasn't worried about that. But I was like, what if she actually put the tape out? I was like, so how is that helping you? You're on the tape. Regardless of how grainy it was, you ain't see nothing but my ass. And you ain't see nothing. You know what I mean? That's all I saw. I was like, this is weak. You could show this on ABC. But anyway. Carla said, that's not cool to sneak tape. Yeah. Now let her tell it. No, I got cameras. I got surveillance cameras all around my place just in case somebody try to rob me or hurt me and all that. And I wasn't mad at that. But the way you was trying to weaponize it, I got a big problem with. Because you were going for the juggler. You were going to try to hurt me. All right. Now, I would feel some kind of way. I've fought tooth and nail to keep my dick off the internet because I know for a fact that I'm going to be president of the United States one day. And I can't have no stank like her messing up my chances of getting elected. Anyway. No, being serious. It's not cool. That's not cool to do to somebody. I would absolutely never do no shit like that. Like record you without you knowing or no shit like that. I wouldn't do that shit. But not everybody is ethical. But yeah, Jason, I think you should be able to retain your copy of the sex tape if you have a copy. But I think you should exercise responsibility and integrity. But I think it's perfectly fine to watch that shit at your leisure. But not at work. Shout out to people who have been caught looking at a sex tape at work. or letting somebody scroll through the pictures on their phone and like, shut them down. Shut them down. I shut them down. Shut them down. Shut them down. Man, it's a mad world out here. Shit ain't cool. Shit ain't cool, man. People playing around with niggas' lives. They playing around with niggas' lives. Carla said, damn, it worked. Yeah. Hey, lots of freaks have jobs. And I don't know, you know how is people at the job that don't know how to mind their business or keep their business to themselves. You know, the less you talk, the more they talk. The less you reveal, the more they reveal. And then when you remind them that they tell everybody their business, now they want to get all defensive. No, I don't. And people need to mind their business. No, you need to mind your business. But hey. Jason says, I always end up deleting them eventually. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. But freaks have jobs. Ask the Republican Party. Freaks have careers. Courtesy of the GOP. We're going to rock from the bottom to the GOP. We're going to rock from the bottom to the GOP. Nasty ass Republicans. We already know Democrats is freaks. We already know. But the GOP be trying to conceal they freak. They would have been the Roman Empire back in the day. You know the Roman Empire. You know that they was extra freaky. Extra freaky. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Trust them enough to make a sex tape. Yes. Make a sex tape, see? Yes. Yes. Gotta get on camera, see? You're gonna make a sex tape. You're gonna be real freaky. Make sure that we get good audio. Yes. Yes. No need for a passion track or whatever they call it, because in some pornos, they don't really be screaming. You ever watch one of these damn near amateur porns? And these chicks, they supposed to be sounding like they really enjoying it or like it hurt or something. And they just be like, you don't see her mouth moving and you hearing all this, her lips was pierced. I don't know. This is all conjecture. This is all possibility and probability. Possibility and probability. Trusting them enough to have to make a sex tape. Well, trusting somebody enough to make a sex tape is one thing, but trusting somebody, for all my people who have been heartbroken, and that's just about everybody, right? Everybody has had their heart broken somewhere along the line. Some people have suffered big heartbreak, and some people have just had their shit shattered, sort of like a car window when the radio was stolen. But nonetheless, having your heart broken can have long-term devastating effects. It doesn't affect everybody the same way. So for some people, giving their heart and soul to somebody may be a much bigger risk than making a sex tape. They may be able to get over the physical implications or the social implications of making a sex tape. But giving their heart to somebody may scare the bejesus out of them because of what somebody did to them last time they gave somebody their heart. I'm talking to people. How some people say, I love hard. And a lot of people who say that they love hard, they're really just a bunch of toxic motherfuckers. You know what I mean? They mean that these are the type of people that threaten you because, you fuck with my heart, then I'll fuck up this and I'll do this. I'm not talking about that loving heart. I'm talking about the real loving heart where your heart and soul go out to somebody when you're in love with them, when you're ready to ride out for them for any reason at any time. I'm talking about when you would do anything for that person on command, basically. And when you totally believe in someone to the point where it's almost to divine like proportions. In other words, just the same way that you would do anything for God, you would do something for that person. And when you experience heartbreak on that level, when somebody has let you down, disappointed you, or used your heart with total disregard for the love and effort that you have put forth. It may take more trust for you to love again, more than it would take for you to make a sex tape again. Now that might sound crazy to some people, and I can understand why it would. But feelings are feelings. It go the way it go. So, like I said, I was talking to all of my people who have had their heart broken. When it gets shattered into pieces, if you've ever fallen in love to the point where when your heart was broken, you were slightly dysfunctional for a while. You may not have been able to sleep. You may not have been able to eat. You may have not been able to work. You may not, sort of like when a person that's really close to you, that you really cared about, loved and cared about, dies. Everybody doesn't mourn the same way. Some people can just look at it like, hey man, everybody dies. It's a part of life. It's a guarantee. Some people can look at it that way. And some people can't. Some people can't rationalize it that way. Same as having your heart broken by somebody that you deeply cared about. And a sex tape can be a part of that. Like, not only did he or she totally break your heart and just leave you holding the bag, but they leaked the sex tape too. Now you're wondering if that person ever loved you at all. Can you love a person and leak your sex tape? Can you? I don't know. Sounds like a wicked thing to do. Totally wicked. It sounds like one of the most heinous acts that a person could perform. So it sounds to me. All right. So, hold on, y'all. Okay, cool. But yeah. Carla said double whammy. Yeah. That ain't what you want. That ain't what you want. One of those situations where, like, giving your heart to somebody is not a small thing. Giving your body to somebody is not a small thing. But when you pit your body up against your heart, I'm thinking that your heart is going to win. We give our bodies to a lot of things. Not just talking about being naked or in a sexual way, but we give our bodies to our jobs. We give our bodies to our, spouses, partners. We give our bodies to our children. We give our bodies to our friends. We lend our bodies to a lot of people because we can't escape doing things that are physical. But we don't give everybody our heart. We reserve that for special people or for special occasions, for special reasons. Everybody don't get our heart. Almost everybody gets our body. I mean, even if we just answer the phone when somebody calls us, we, in a way, we have given our bodies. We don't do that with our hearts. We normally reserve our hearts for those that we think deserve it, for those who need it the most, and for those who will try to preserve it or treated well, are we always right? Not at all. We're not always right. Sometimes we totally get it wrong. But we have to be careful. But yeah. So what were the other ones in the poll question? Oh, the co-signer loan and telling all your darkest secrets and fears. Yeah. And we light as hell tonight. Only 9 votes. What the fuck? Okay, well. Telling your darkest secrets and fears, 33%, and that led everything. Telling our darkest secrets and fear. Darkest secrets. That's subjective as hell, ain't it? Your darkest secrets. You know, sometimes people keep secrets that we may look at as like, that's a secret to you? Like, that ain't about nothing. But to the person, it might be about something. It might really, really, pierce the core of who they are and what they want to do. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to get out of here early tonight. I'm not. Okay. All right. Oh, since we only had 3 people in the party anyway, we gonna we gonna do these birthday shout outs and get out of here. We'll pick back up on this on Hump Day. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious March 3rd, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number 1 out the box. Danielle Simone, Ollie Lear, DJ Yansky, Tommy Lee Hamilton, Ayana Kimber, Craig Edward, Kamika Warren, Ashley Lomas, Lydia Batista. Batista Dalgo? Okay. My man, Bobby Steels, a.k.a. Bobby Ratley. And last but not least, Apostomus. Happy birthday to my late good friend. He was my best friend back in 3rd and 4th grade. My man, Oliver McCall. And he passed in 2018, man. That was my dude. And you know what he introduced me to? He introduced me to professional wrestling at 8 years old. I didn't know nothing about no professional wrestling. He was into that shit. And I was like, yo, this shit is pretty cool. He was the one who put me on with that shit. Man, I miss my dude. We had a lot of good times growing up and all of that shit because we stayed cool all the way to the end. Happy heavenly birthday, my man Oliver McCall, a.k.a. Squirt. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious March 3rd, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, yo, trust them enough to make a sex tape? Well, trust them enough to co-sign a loan? Trust them enough to give them your heart all the way? Trust them enough to tell your deepest, darkest secrets? Where are the bodies at? Where are the bodies at? Yeah, I got them in my backyard. I don't know. Trust is not something that should be played with, but unfortunately, a lot of people play around with it. And it can have dire consequences. Putting your trust in the hands of those who will show your tape, leak your tape, expose your tape, promote your tape, sex tape. Yeah, those are definitely not the type of people that we want to deal with. Unfortunately, those are people who we deal with on a regular basis, and they will have an impact on your ability to trust going forward. Protect yourself at all times. Protect yourself at all times. And a lot of times that's easier said than done. It doesn't mean that that's not something that we have to do, because it is. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 1 a.m. in the morning. Woo! Said don't rap about the alleged bodies and about allegedly know where they are. Aye. Y'all have a good night. Be careful out there. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Get some rest. Peace. All right.